Hello there. I'm so excited about today and who I get to talk to. I'm going to interview one of my really wonderful friends named Chani Thompson. She's somebody that I've known for 3 years, and I'm just going to have her join in a moment. But I've known Chani for 3 years. We met through business, and it's been such a wonderful journey of getting to know her. And yes, I'm just going to have Shani join now. Approve. That works. Um, I should be adding her, connecting. Yes,
Hello.
hello. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you? It's so good to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me. So I was just introducing you a little bit, but I'll keep going for a moment and then you
Awesome.
can.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So we met 3 years ago. I've been able to collaborate with you for me, it's almost exactly 3 years, I think, in about a week. So, and it's,
Wow.
I
First
know.
time gone.
Yeah, and so much has happened for both of us in those 3 years,
Mm,
right? But what
totally.
I've loved is watching what you've done with your life. When I first met you, and maybe you can tell a bit more about your story, but you were working as a nurse in on the Gold Coast in Australia.
hmm
And yeah, you've created so much. Why don't I just turn it over to you and tell us a little bit about your background pre becoming an entrepreneur?
Totally. Well, yeah, like you said, I was a registered nurse. I specialized in anesthetics. So I was
Mm.
working in theatre for 5 years and I loved it. It was really fun. It was a really fulfilling job. It was, I got to learn so much about the body and how it works. And I was really excited about just finally having a career after working for so long at university. So it's so interesting what happened. I guess it's the thrill of the chase, right? I studied for 7 years and finally got my dream job, and it just wasn't all it was cut out to be. And I was slightly disappointed only because I was just really afraid of doing what I was doing for the next 50 years. As much as I loved the job, I just wasn't fulfilled and I didn't feel like I had a big purpose there. And I mean, I was working 50 hours a week at some weeks.
Wow.
And I thought, do I really want to work 50 hours a week for 50 plus years? Like, I don't think I
Yeah,
want to
that's the
do that.
question.
And yeah, and I was looking at my colleagues and everyone was miserable. And
Hmm.
there were people there who had been there for 50 years. And I thought, I do not want my life to look like that in 50 years. As much as that might sound vain, I just knew I was destined for more. So that's sort of where my desire came from. I was really ambitious. I always was. In fact, I started that career with the intention to really grow my skill set and become a manager and then
Mm.
become like a CNN, which is essentially like the bosses of the bosses. And
Oh, great.
I did have ambition to do that, but something clicked in me 5 years in and I thought, no, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's amazing. You're lucky you had that click so early, I think. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way. That's
Yeah.
great.
That was, well, I mean, I left my nursing career at 27.
So
So
retired at
that
27, basically, from
retired at
nursing.
27.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I remember having a similar thought in the corporate world when I was in my early 30s, seeing the people that were 60 something and they were being kind of escorted out and what their life looked like. And you're like, I don't want that. So
Yeah, no thanks.
I
Yeah,
can.
absolutely. Well, the thing that really, I guess, had me thinking, what else could I do is I was constrained. First of all, I was being told what I was worth per hour. And I'm an Aries, so that just doesn't sit well with me. I was being told when I could, go on holiday, I was being dictated to regarding, you know, my roster. Could I have time off over Christmas to spend time with my family? Could I go on holidays? And, you know, working night shift, being on call, working weekends, I just didn't have any time freedom or flexibility. But somehow, amongst all the hours that I was doing, my pay was coming in and it was just going, it felt like it was just going out like the next day. And I was just ending up in this really stressful situation where I had more months left at the end of the money and I didn't have any savings. I had a maxed out credit card. I could never afford to go on holiday, even if I had the time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just that sort of just really ignited a fire within me to find another way to live life, because that to me is not living.
No, I agree. That's a great start to your story. And what I've seen and what I hinted at in the title is you create this beautiful life that what you've shared with me is something that you created obviously in the present, but also forward thinking for, I mean, I've seen you get married about a year and a half ago, and you're thinking about, you know, the future of having kids and having a family and what you want. So
Yeah.
but tell me a little bit about what I guess what you discovered. And I know you went to IIN, like a lot of my friends and myself.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know, I studied at IIN because I wanted to find another way to create additional income. My nursing income wasn't enough. And well, I just wasn't surviving. I wasn't saving. I was nowhere near buying my first property with that wage. And I was working a ridiculous amount of hours. So I thought, what's another way I could create an additional stream of income, first of all? That's why I studied there. And of course, I was really passionate about wellness. So really wanted to dive into that myself. But I decided to just think about my future. Like, I really can't wait to have children. I'm really excited to have kids, actually. And I really thought, well, I'm looking at the nurses at my job and what they're doing, and they're going away and having children and then coming back, you know, 6 to 8 months later. And that's not how I want to have kids. I don't want to miss out on school pickup and sports carnivals and the concerts and the dance, the Stedfords. Like, I want to be there. I want to be that mum at the front taking the photos. I don't want to be that mum who is texting my mum friends going, hey, can you take a picture of my kids when they cross the finish line or they're up on stage? Like, I want to be there for those times, and I want to be the one dropping them off. I want to be the one picking them up. I don't want to rely on maternity leave. I refuse to. I will not entertain that. I want to create a future for myself where I'm independent and I'm in charge and I'm in control and I'm in the driver's seat, because we're in a day and age now where we're so reliant on, you know, payouts and maternity leave and annual leave, and that just doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, I am really passionate about that, and really passionate about helping other mums, whether they're expecting mums or planning mums or current mums, about how to create that flexibility for themselves, because we can do it all. We actually can create that for ourselves. We're in the 21st century now, so I'm passionate about creating that for myself. But obviously, us together, we're very passionate about teaching other mothers how to have the same flexibility.
I love that. You give me goosebumps and even almost get so emotional because yesterday I dropped the kids off at school and I was able to embarrass them with taking pictures, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm actually, because of my situation, I'm with this wonderful business starting to volunteer for the school field trips.
That's cool.
Which I've never been able to do ever. And thank God, right before they get too old to not want me to come, right? So,
yes, just milk it while you can.
yeah, one of them's almost done with me, but no, that's really beautiful. So what have you created over the last couple of years? Maybe one of the things you could touch on is how you've done a year traveling around the world.
Yes. Well, my husband and I got married last year, and we were in a position where up to the wedding, planning it for a few years, we thought, right, we could either have our dream trip around the world for 12 months, or we could have our dream wedding, and it was going to have to be one or the other. And because of this incredible business that we get to call work, we were able to have the financial flexibility to do both. So we got married overseas. We had our dream wedding. We had 70 of our dearest and closest friends and family celebrate for a week with us, which is insane. We had this beautiful house on the beach and just got married on these beautiful grounds. And then after the wedding, we went traveling for a year around the world. And so we started off through Europe and made our way all the way over to Alaska and Canada and through the States, and then ended our trip in Central America. And we just got back home just a couple of months ago. So that was amazing. And the fact that we were able to do that while we were working on our businesses was amazing. There's not many people who can take a year off work and still create an income while doing it. So I'm incredibly grateful for what we do, because it's not only given us financial flexibility, but time flexibility. And that was what was missing in my life prior to this.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so what does all of this mean for you? Now you've come home, you've gotten married. I know you hit some really big milestones last year, which was was it last year? Yeah, just last year. You had a really big one. And you guys are home. And what does all of this mean for you going forward? What are your future goals in helping others or for yourself?
Yeah, well, we were kind of talking about this before, like just showing people how to do it. I believe in collaboration over competition. I don't think that we need to hide what we're doing. I think everyone should have the ability to take a closer look and experience it and experiment with it and create that life for themselves that they dream for, whether it's, whether they're single or they're married or they're a family and they just have these really big goals and dreams that they want to achieve. I'm just really passionate about showing other people how to do that and get out of that 9-to-5 grind. It's not attractive anymore. It's not sustainable. It's stressful. It really isn't. It isn't a way to live anymore. People are wanting to travel the world and be their own boss and have that flexibility. And I just want to show as many people as I can who are open to it how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, not everybody actually wants that, but most people I know do. I think it's so beautiful what I've seen over the past couple of years. And I get this question a lot. I'm sure you do too, but does it really work? Are people really having success in this? And you are my first example, just in collaborating with you and knowing you for 3 years, seeing you as a nurse and building, and then graduating out of that or retiring, and then what you've built. It's just been and there's so many other women that we do collaborate with, and I've seen that, and even myself building a little slower, but slow and steady.
Hey, you're amazing. What are you talking about? You're crushing it. Whoever's listening to this, she's not going slowly. She's crushing
Not anymore. No, but it's also, like you said, it's something you can take on the road with you. So I've lived in a few countries while building this. So,
and you've done it with kids. You've done it with a corporate career on top of that. Like, you are just a superhuman, and it actually. You're a walking testimony to that. Yes, this is valid. It is available for anyone, and anyone can be successful at it. You don't have to be a single 20-something nurse to make this work. Like, anyone can make this work. Like, we've got women we work with who are homeschooling 5 kids who are making this work. We've got women who are home alone, single mums who are making this work. Like, this really is an incredible vehicle for anyone who wants to make it work, it's not easy, but it's simple and it's fun. That's
It
the
is
best part
fun.
about it. It's so
It
fun.
is fun. It's way more fun than the corporate job. No offense to the corporate job. It's way more fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, but I really appreciate you jumping on with me and sharing your story. It's so inspiring, honestly.
Yeah, my pleasure. And it's been so cool watching your journey to, like, just from where you've come from and where you are now. It's inspiring. And the women that you're helping, it inspires me every day. And
Thank you.
yeah, I think, you know, for anyone listening to this who's curious or this has struck a chord with them, I guess all I want to add is connect with this powerhouse right here. She is
Thank you.
incredible. She's making waves. She's helping so many people, and she's not only creating impact, but she's creating income at the same time around her girls, around her family, around her work life, around her travel. It's amazing. So definitely ask questions if you've got some burning ones sitting there.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great
My
day.
pleasure. Thank you. I'm off
Thank
to
you,
the
Chani.
gym.
Oh, good. Well done. I'm off to get kids to school. Yours sounds more fun. All
Hey,
right,
I've had a long
bye.
day.
I know.
It's nighttime over here. Okay, it's
It's
time
so
for me.
crazy.
Yeah.
Have a good
Talk to you
workout.
soon, hun.
Thank you. Bye.